Good morning, afternoon, whatever time it is when you're watching this. Happy Friday, or whatever day you're watching it. As you can see, it's Friday here. We normally do videos on Wednesday, but I've been doing this series all week long on all of my social media platforms, so I figured a Friday video was better so that I can do a recap video of everything we've been talking about. So today's video is about everything you need to get started homeschooling. We're going to go through 6 major steps in this video. Of course, there's always more that we can talk about, but I'm going to stick to those 6 major steps, and then if you want me to, I can make future videos, future posts, etc. on those kinds of things. So without any further ado, let's get started. All right, hello, my name is Sarah Bean. I am the owner, creator, all the thingies of the Love at Home education curriculum and business. I wanted to discuss, like I said, everything you need to get ready to homeschool. Now, my specialty is going to be preschool to 6th grade. I do have knowledge for 7th grade and older because I was homeschooled starting in 7th grade, but that was a different time than it is now. So my main focus is going to be on preschool to 6th grade. My own kids are in between 1st and 4th grade. It's a whole thing. They're 6 and 8, so they're both in like 2 grades. It depends on the subject, and it depends on the mini subject of the subject, and that's a topic for another time. But the very first thing that I wanted to talk about is choosing your homeschool schedule. Now, choosing your homeschool schedule can be super simple. It can be complicated. It depends on your family, depends on the grades, depends on the area that you live in, and what natural rhythms and routines you already have as a person and as a family. Now, I did mention I have been posting about this all week on my social media. So there are some carousels, there are some reels, and I'm going to be linking those all in the blog post about everything you need to get started homeschooling, which will be linked in the description. I'll link all those videos in the description as well too. I'll probably link the highlight to Instagram, and then I'll link a couple of the videos from TikTok because I don't have 10,000 followers over there yet, so I can't make any playlists. But I do have all of the videos on my YouTube Shorts as well, so if you ever wanted to hop over there and watch those, you can. So, okay, let's talk about topic number 1, which is your homeschool schedule. So there are a few different options for a homeschool schedule, and they're not exclusive to what I'm sharing here. I'm sure there are plenty more. These are the ones that we have used and the ones that we have heard from other people as well. So these are the most popular ones, if you will. I'm gonna look over here on Instagram. So the first one is 6 weeks on, 1 week off, which I believe is called a traditional, it's like an Adventist schedule or a Sunday school schedule. Very interesting. We've started to use that one, and I like it a lot. We like to use that one a lot more in like the fall. We started using that one last week, and it was really nice. I actually do have a few more posts about that as well. It's really nice because you use that off week to plan the other 6 weeks, and it makes those 6 weeks a lot more seamless and just easy. Sorry if you can hear the airplanes. We live by an Air Force base, so I think it's airplane flyover time. The second is 3 months on, 1 month off, which we like to do this when we know that there are going to be busier months of the year. Normally we take off December, April, and July or August. One of those. So we'll do, January, February, and March, and we'll take off April. We'll do May, June, and July, take off August, which is always fun because that's when most public school kids are going back to school. So then we kind of get to celebrate all of the parks without anybody there. And then school September, October, and November, and take December off. Now, it doesn't mean we take it like all the way off. Usually we'll still do things like devotional and reading, but it's not as much required or structured work, which has been really nice in the past. April, August, and December, like I said, are usually the ones that we would take off in that instance. The other one is a public school schedule. This is great for if your kids have a lot of public school friends or traditional, schooling friends, where you take the summer off and then you take their fall break and their winter break and whatever it is. And if that works for you, do that, because totally okay to do it that way. We don't, because we do our school in the morning anyway, so their public school friends aren't ever ready to play when we're on their off days. By the time we're done with school, they're ready to play. So the other one is 3 weeks on, 1 week off. And I know that sounds maybe like, wow, that's a lot of breaks, but when we are doing history, if you've been following me for a while, you know that we alternate science and history. If we're doing American history, my American history curriculum that is for K through 4th grade actually has a 3 weeks on, 1 week off schedule, because in each history unit, there's 3 books in each unit. We usually read a book per week, and then that 4th week we take off. So if you did it that way, I think the whole thing would take 7 months, which we have done that before. We were doing that when I was making it. Certainly don't have to do it that way, but it was really nice when we were doing it. And we did that, I believe, it was the last 7 months or so of the year. But you could also just read more or not do all the units or whatever it is. And of course, you don't have to use mine either. That's just why we've used that schedule before. Okay, so the next thing I wanted to talk about is homeschool methods and philosophies. And of course, this is not an exhaustive list, an exclusive list, like I said before. I'm sure there are some I've never even heard of, but you don't have to follow a specific homeschool method. I do find that it is easier to find those that you agree with, or it's easier to find other homeschoolers to associate with if you do know where you lean, at least. You definitely don't have to align yourself with one, but I wanted to talk about a couple of the main homeschool methods, which are the unschooling method, the classical, unit study, interest-based, which kind of goes with unschooling and unit study, Charlotte Mason, Waldorf, and Montessori. And if you align yourself with more than one or more than 2 of those methods, you're considered eclectic. I'm eclectic. We follow almost all of them except for classical. We don't do a lot of Waldorf, and we don't do classical education. So we are very interest-based, child-led, hands-on sort of people. And so that aligns with unschooling, unit study, interest-based, Charlotte Mason, and Montessori. So I actually have quizzes, and they're free. They're on my website on the homeschool help page, which I'll also link in the description so that you can see maybe what you align with. And there's traditional public school method as well. Like if that's how your kids learn best, then there's nothing wrong with that. In my research and my experience, that's the word I'm looking for, I have not found many that do thrive well with the public school method at home, but if yours does, that's totally okay, and you should go that direction. So that is number 2. All right, number 3 is learning styles. Now, learning styles and teaching styles need to be known because they go together. They go like this. You can't effectively homeschool or effectively teach or effectively learn with your child or even by yourself if you don't know how they learn best, how you learn best, and how you teach. Because starting off, all of my kids and I all have different learning styles. Like they intermingle and they mix and they meet up here and there. But there are things like I am the only one in my family, well, my toddler we don't know about yet because he's a toddler, but I'm the only one in my family who can't listen to audiobooks. I just goes in one ear and right out the other. I have to read it, or if I'm listening to things, they need to be in short little clips because my attention is not going to stay there. But the rest of my family loves audiobooks. Now, myself and my toddler learn best through music. My other kids learn well through music too, but it's not a need, So it's very important that you know how your children learn and how you learn so that you can help cater those. Now, having a teaching style is important, but it is more important for you and your self-reflection because I believe you should teach the way your kids learn, and that might look different for different kids. So if you want to check out that homeschool help page, there's a quiz for that as well. Okay, number 4, and this could be number 1, but it's very important for you to know the homeschooling laws in your state or country. My favorite resource to use is hslda.org. I do have some just general little carousels on my social medias that go over the general laws of each state or group of states, but I would recommend you go straight to their website, type in your state, and see exactly what you need to do because legally they've got you covered really, really good. So that's all you really need to know about homeschool laws. Most states need you to file a letter of intent or some sort of notice to the school district that your child is in that you will not be sending them to school, but some don't. So it's best to just go check that out for yourself. hslda.org, link in the description. Okay, so next we're going to talk about how you measure your homeschool success. And this is actually one that I'm talking about on all social media platforms today, the day of the video. So I wanted to make sure everybody knows that everyone measures homeschool success different, and that doesn't make there any right or way wrong to measure your homeschool success. So if that looks like grades, I would encourage you to look past grades. Grades can be an important part, but look for other things too. You could measure homeschool I can't talk today. You can measure homeschool success with, say your child was really proud of something and you decided to document that moment by writing it down, by telling a friend, by taking a picture, making a video. That's homeschool success. Say you decide to reverse plan instead of planning everything out so that you can really look back over everything and realize how much you did. That's measuring homeschool success. Say your child was able to go up to a random person at the grocery store and hold a conversation with them, or maybe they were able to pay using change and dollar bills and they counted it out themselves. Maybe for the first time ever, they made a whole recipe by themselves and they cleaned it up. Maybe they didn't clean it up. Either way, all of those are valid ways to measure the success in your homeschool. And like I said before, everybody's homeschool is going to look different. That's okay. What you see on Instagram might not be what you want. Maybe that is what you want, and you also have to realize that it's generally speaking a highlight reel. I know a lot of people are posting now about the cons and the hard sides to homeschooling, which is so good because it's not all sunshine and rainbows. How could it be? We're all human. But the point I want to make is measuring homeschool success is going to look different for everybody, and that's okay. How do you measure homeschool success? Leave a comment and let me know. Okay, and the last thing that I wanted to talk about today is choosing curriculum and resources to use in your homeschool. Now, the reason this is last is because I feel it should be decided after you know what sort of schedule you guys are going to have. You know what their learning style is. This is a big one. Don't choose anything until you know what your children's learning style is. Because what's going to happen is if you choose things based on your teaching style rather than their learning style, you're going to end up with buyer's remorse, probably going to end up having to throw out some curriculum. Otherwise, there's going to be fighting and maybe not having as good a time as you can have. And that's a problem I see with a lot of new homeschoolers is, well, I tried it and I can't do it, so I put them back in school because I'm a failure. You're not a failure. You just were teaching with your teaching style instead of their learning style. Knowing that is the first step. So figure out their learning style first, decide what schedule you are, maybe see if you align with any specific curriculum, or not curriculum, any specific homeschool methods. Like I mentioned earlier, we're not classical at all. So if I decided to go with classical conversations, obviously I'd be disappointed and I wouldn't like it. But maybe if you are a more classical homeschooler, that's what you would like. So when you know all these things and you know what your homeschool laws are, you know if there's any required subjects, then you can jump in and then you can decide to use whatever curriculum you want. Now, if your child is more hands-on and they like to use a combination of hands-on and visual, or you're not a workbook family or whatever it is, my curriculum might be well suited for you. If you're willing to teach by their interests, unit studies, let them take the lead, go with the flow, my shop is going to be perfect for you. If you are not, and you want something that's more traditional public school, if you want something that's more classical, or if you want something that is workbook by the book and to the letter, my curriculum is not going to be right for you. And I will try my best to find some resources and put them in the description for those kinds of things. I'm not super familiar with them because, like I said, we've never been that way. But I'll try and link some for you if you do happen to be a workbook family. And if you're a workbook family, there's no shame in that. That's okay. So curriculum is the last thing. Now, like I said before, if you want to let your child lead in their learning, you want to do hands-on things, learn via their interests, do unit studies, school based on the season, not only is my curriculum a really good fit for you, but I have so many videos and posts and things like that that I feel like would be very helpful for you and your family. So if you are a hands-on homeschooler and you would like some additional resources, check out the description, leave a comment, check out our website, and I really hope this was a helpful video for everyone. I'm going to be making a blog post as well, like I said earlier, where I'm linking all these things that I'm talking about, the social media posts, so that it's all kind of in one place. And what you can do with that blog post is when you go to the blog post, you can bookmark it on your computer so that you don't lose it and you can look back on it anytime you want. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and if you subscribe, make sure to turn on the little notification bell so you never miss a post. The next post we're going to be making is actually about music, and then next week we're talking all about homeschooling with ... ADHD, dyslexia, sensory stimulation, anything like that that needs to be covered. So if you have any questions on anything that relates to that, leave a comment, email me, message me, whatever you need to do, and I'll be sure to answer your question in the video. Thanks so much and have a fantastic day, a fantastic weekend, and a fantastic year.